Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. And if you are new, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different than usual. I am going to talk about 6 tips for a successful book club. So I've mentioned my book club many times on this channel, and that's my real life book club as we call it, but I've never really talked about it. I've basically just shared and talked about some of the books that we've read. So I started this book club that I'm in over 10 years ago, and together we have read almost 100 books. So I thought that today I would take some time to just talk about the book club and share some things that have worked really well for us, and perhaps these tips will help if you are thinking of starting a book club too, or perhaps your book club needs a little bit of tweaking. So the reason that I started the book club over 10 years ago was because I had moved to a new city and I was trying to get connected and meet new people. And as all of you know, book lovers are the best people. So the book club started out with, I think, about 6 women. Now, it didn't have to be just women, but it just happened to work out that way. And things have changed, over time. We named ourselves the Book Broads, and we still have 4 founding members. 2 members that started out with us decided to leave for different reasons. And then unfortunately, our friend Deborah died very unexpectedly several years ago now. So we now have 8 women who are part of the group, and we used to meet in person, and now we meet online. First, that was due to COVID, obviously, and now the group is kind enough to still include me after I moved across the country, so I'm grateful that they have done that. So after 10 years and many reads together, there are a few things that that have worked for us. And the first thing that helps tremendously, especially if you are just starting out, is to be clear about your goals. So I had 3 goals going into this. First, I wanted to read books that I might not read otherwise. I wanted to expand my reading, and I needed other people to be okay with that. Second, I wanted to be social, since I wanted to meet new people. And third, and this was a must, I actually wanted to talk about the book. So this last one might seem silly, but I had been part of book clubs in the past that rarely, if ever, talked about the book, and I found that very frustrating. So I wanted to be clear to any potential members that we might have, and that we would be talking about what we read. So having these goals is what helped us with the second tip, and that is to have a structure. So this structure, might be different depending on what your group goals are and what they want. But since the first goal was to expand our reading, I wanted people to take turns choosing books. If it was always me, picking my favorite books or the books that I wanted to read, then we would only read the books that I was aware of and that I found interesting. So because I wanted the group to be social, we decided to take turns hosting at each other's homes. The host was responsible, or is responsible still, but they were responsible for snacks and drinks and also coming up with discussion questions. Because, as you know, the third goal is to actually talk about the book. So now we don't necessarily have to answer, every question or follow them very well, but they are there as a guide because it's awkward, if someone just says, "What did you think of the book?" and 6 people say, "It was good" or "not good," and then the discussion ends. So for choosing books, what we put into place was that the host would put 3 books forward that they really wanted to read, and everyone in the group votes on those 3 books. So the one with the most votes is the one that we read. And while a structure is really important, so is tip number 3, and that is be flexible. So what do I mean by this? Well, we all know, life happens, and sometimes the best plans aren't practical. So in the beginning, as I said, we used to meet in people's homes, and we used to meet on a monthly basis. It was something like, I don't know, the third Thursday of every month or something like that. So as people began retiring and just as life changed, we now plan ahead a month or two on a date that kind of works for everyone. And then, of course, we also had to be flexible when COVID hit. So we ended up going online, and we are also flexible when it comes to like summertime. Sometimes we plan a group read, but often we just take a break. And then when we meet at the end of the summer for the first time, we all talk about the books that we liked best that we read over the summer. So flexibility is, I think, really key so people don't feel stuck. The fourth tip and kind of rule we go by is no shaming. We don't get upset if someone didn't finish the book. Everyone knows that we are going to talk about the book. So if you didn't finish it for whatever reason, you do have to be okay with spoilers. But we don't make people feel bad for not finishing. And we also don't shame people, if they have a different opinion than we do. So there's no, I can't believe you liked this book, or I can't believe you didn't like this book, what's wrong with you? So we don't do any of that. Everyone is entitled to their opinions on our books that we read, and we have found actually that there is, when there is difference of opinions, there is usually better and richer discussion. And then the fifth tip is to not get too big. So we are at 8 people right now, and I don't think I would want to go too much bigger. We average 6 to 7 people when we meet, so it tends to stay small enough that everyone gets an opportunity to talk and to share what they want to share. And I would usually say the more the merrier, but in this case I think having a smaller group is actually key to success. And then the final tip I have for you is make it fun. We have had a lot of fun over the years. When we used to meet in person, the host would sometimes have, drinks or food that paired well with the book. So sometimes we would read a book and then go see the movie if that worked out. Usually we would go out for dinner around Christmas or New Year's. And then as the person who ran the group, I would usually give the host a little something as a thank you for hosting. It doesn't have to be anything outrageous. I would spend maybe $100 a year and get them all like bookmarks or a mug or a gift card, something like that. Just a token of appreciation, I think goes a long way. And before I moved to Calgary, we gathered one last time, and they put on a pizza party for me because they know that I love pizza. And they even named the different kinds of pizzas after like everything that I like. So it was just very thoughtful of them and great fun. When we've been online, we've had a couple of authors join us, and that's been great fun as well. So there's lots of ways to add, to the book club experience that will make it more interesting. So these are just some of the tips that have helped our book club be successful. We are still going very strong over 10 years later, so hopefully these tips can help you if you are thinking about starting a book club, or like I said, if your book club just needs a little tweaking. Please let me know in the comments below if you are part of a book club and what has worked for you, or feel free to ask any questions that you might have. I'd be happy to answer them or help out if I can. If you are looking for some book ideas, I am going to do some videos with book suggestions for book clubs based on books that this book club has read over the years, that the Book Broads have read. So keep an eye out for those, probably starting next week. And if there's something specific that your book club is looking for, let me know and I will do my best to include suggestions for that might work for you. As always, I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.